Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Josh from JNJtabletop. This is Jake, and we've got some exciting stuff going on today. We finally got Fizban's Treasury of Dragons, and we're going to be going over the new monk subclass, which is called Ascendant Dragon. We're just going to get right into it, probably go over some of the differences between the UA and what actually came out, and talk about our thoughts on it. So stay tuned.
So do you think they nerfed it? So yes, before we dive into the way of the Ascendant Dragon Monk, just wanted to tell you a little bit about J&J Tabletop. Right here, Josh and I are trying to help you and your friends get the most out of their games. So if this video is helpful for you, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and maybe share it with a friend because it might help them and their friends. And then that's just good for everybody. All right, Josh. So the Way of the Ascendant Dragon Monk was in the Draconic subclass option for Unearthed Arcana, and it looks like they start off with some lore, because I don't know if they necessarily fleshed that out probably as much as they did here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what all the flavor text was for the Unearthed Arcana version, but I love the way they set it up in this book. Like, I absolutely love it. It just immediately grabs you by telling you this story about how the dragon god Bahamut, or however that's supposed to be pronounced. Just do me a favor, just let me know how to pronounce it in chat just by spelling out the word and pressing enter. So thank you. So essentially, this dragon god comes down to the material plane in the guise of a young monk, and as the legend says, this monk founded the first monastery of the Way of the Ascendant Dragon. So monks who follow this path, tradition just kind of has them try to follow the example of dragons and mirror those and emulate dragons themselves. And I don't know a ton about like kung fu or anything like that, but you have tiger style, praying mantis, all that kind of stuff, and it's those moves and that fighting
Yep.
style. It all kind of comes from people watching these beasts or insects or whatever, trying to be more like them and learning from them. So the thought that one, these people actually follow dragons and that's how they try to do what they do, that's really cool in and of itself. But it's not just dragons, it's the ascendant dragon. It's the dragon who came down and started this thing themselves. That's incredible, and it really takes you back to something that the monk class in and of itself is modeled after, and that's real life Shaolin monks. And I just think that's chef's kiss right there. I love that.
I agree. And if you are interested in a very tiny little piece of me being Bahamut in our adventure, Dragon of Icefire Peak, we had a fun little moment between Daisy and Bahamut. We'll just leave a little card that'll flip over this way. But yeah, and then obviously they have some origin things here, ways that you can, how did you become one of these kinds of monks, which is always cool. But then we get to the meat and potatoes here. We've got the Draconic Disciple, which is, monks get your subclass at level 3. So that's where you manifest these powers. And there is only one small difference that I noticed from the UA to here. And that's in, we're going to start with Tongue of Dragons, because you get to learn to read, speak, read, and write Draconic or one other language of your choice. Whereas originally it was just you get Draconic. So here you can trade that out if you'd like. But everything else is the same as the UA, which is some pretty cool stuff because dragons have a very powerful presence. So if you fail a charisma, intimidation check, or a persuasion check, you can use your reaction to re-roll it. And the thing I really like about this is once this feature turns a failure into a success, then you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So this is like the old 4E reliable trait. Like you would use this big old power and be like, aha, I'm going to cast a level 9 inflict wounds on you, Duke Skellington. And it's like, you roll a natural 1 and you missed. Sorry, level 9 spell slot. Like, it just sucks to have that happen. And here, it's like, all right, it's going to at least work.
Yeah, it's cool. And I hope we see more abilities like this in the future where it's essentially you use it until it works. Draconic Strike is also pretty sweet too, where essentially, Monk, you're going to be using unarmed strikes all the time. With Draconic Strike, you could change your unarmed strike to either acid damage, cold, fire, lightning, or poison damage. That's just nice to have.
And from a power standpoint, that does literally nothing to the damage because if it's 5 points of damage, whether it's bludgeoning or fire or whatever, that's the same. However, your monk is going to be more equipped to handle more situations, which just feels so monk-like. And I'm just gonna say it. This feels like this is really the way of the four elements should have gone. And
Yeah.
I know they're going to be doing updates and stuff like that come 2022. Hopefully they fix some stuff there. However, if you're a way of the four elements person, you really want to find something that's better to play, I feel like this is the subclass for you.
Yeah, I think as a DM, if I had a player playing four elements, I'd probably give them Draconic Strike just because it feels
A
like
little
something they should have.
pity gift.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, yeah, that's true.
yeah.
But the next thing that we get is a Breath of the Dragon. You can channel destructive waves of energies like a dragon's breath weapon. When you take the attack action, replace one of your attacks with exhalation of draconic energy in either a 20-foot cone, 30-foot line that is 5 feet wide, your choice. And then you choose a damage type. So each creature in that area must make a dexterity saving throw against your key save DC, taking damage of the chosen type equal to 2 rolls of your martial arts die on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. So this right here is where we're going to see a change. So at 11th level, the damage of this feature increases to 3 rolls of your martial arts die. You could use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This is it. While you have no uses available, you could spend 2 key points to use this feature again. That's been nerfed slightly, or I guess in half, or doubly, however you want to say
It's been
that.
doubly nerfed, Joshua. I know that monks and sorcerers kind of share the pain of, trying to manage their points because it's where a lot of their stuff is tied to. But at least you have your proficiency bonus worth of literally, free uses before you have to
Yeah.
think about it. As you level up and you have, 6, 7, 8 key points.
Yeah, it's a cool ability, and this thing that they have there now it's 2 key points to use it again. It used to be 1. It's still extra, right? Like Breath of the Dragon is an ability that you have, and key points allows you to do it when you've already done it too many times.
That's
I don't really have a
situational.
problem with that. Yeah, exactly.
If you're going up against minions, yeah, you'd rather spend your key points on this anyways, I would think. So forget flurry of blows, breathe fire. And then next up, we have the level 6 feature, Wings Unfurled. And we got some beautiful artwork, which you saw in the thumbnail for this video. When you use your Step of the Wind, you can unfurl spectral draconic wings from your back that vanish at the end of your turn. While the wings exist, you have a flying speed equal to your walking speed. That's just cool. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. As far as I can tell, the only difference here is that after you use it, you can't use your key points to do it again.
I'm gonna be mad about this in a future video. So watch
Oh
the
boy.
next video and you'll find out why.
Oh boy.
I always describe Monk's movement on the battlefield as flying through the battlefield, and now you're literally doing it. So that'll bring us to our level 11 feature, which is Aspect of the Wyrm. The power of your draconic spirit now radiates from you, warding your allies or inspiring fear in your enemies. As a bonus action, you can create an aura of draconic power that radiates 10 feet from you for 1 minute. For the duration, you gain one of the following effects. We get 2 options here. First one is Frightful Presence. And if you've ever fought a dragon, or if you're a DM, if you've ever run a dragon, you're going to be kind of familiar with this. So when you create this aura, and as a bonus action on subsequent turns, you can choose a creature within the aura. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your key save DC, or become frightened of you for 1 minute. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a successful save. Unlike the actual Frightful Presence, if someone succeeds on a save initially, they're not immune to it for 24 hours. You get to try it again as a bonus action on your next turn. That's pretty nice. I think that's actually very nice.
Yeah, that's got some good battlefield control potential. The only thing I kind of wish maybe that would be is it's just one creature here. I feel like it might be nice if it was a little more. But this is actually a brand new feature. This wasn't in the UA. They had like a hellish rebuke kind of a feature where you'd get to deal damage. But instead they have this, which I think this feels a little more draconic in a way, just because dragons, if when they're angry, they're gonna instill some fear.
We have another option here called Resistance. Choose a damage type when you activate this aura: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison. You and your allies within the aura have resistance to that damage. Pretty straightforward. Once you create this aura, you can't create it again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend 3 key points to create it again. Resistance, very nice, really straightforward, pretty easy. One thing afterwards, 3 key points to use it again. Used to be 4, right? In the UA?
Yeah, there's a good reason for that. The radius used to be 30 feet instead of 10 feet. So I think I think that's what they were taking into account. And I believe our good friend Evan, it's Evbo and all the things, monks are like that's his, like for me, that's my wizard. For Josh, that's his ranger. That's Evan. This is the monk. And he feels like they get nerfed a lot. And I get it. This definitely feels like that. But I imagine the resistance moment happening where like maybe you have to like run through some kind of like waterfall of acid, or like something that's like maybe you're gonna, like a ship is gonna blow up or something. So he's like, just get to me quick, and he's like radiates this zone. So it feels like a huddle up power to begin with. I don't know, but that's a big nerf on that zone.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred it to be half instead of a third, Like 15 feet is a nice, like, meet in the middle type thing. I get it though. Like 30 feet's, if you're using battle maps, 30 feet is pretty strong. Like that's a very large
It's a
area.
12 square diameter.
Yeah, especially with so much online gaming, a lot of maps are. I'm not going to try and come up with a random number of squares, but they're not that big on a battle map. One thing you mentioned, it's not really about this class, but I do think it's a beautiful thing, is you just said Ranger. I love Ranger. You love Wizard. Evan loves Monk. Isn't it beautiful that we're 3 different people playing the same game and we all love a specific class? And I don't think any of those classes are considered the meta. I actually love that.
That's why this game is great. So then we move on to the capstone, which is the Ascendant Aspect. You get this at level 17. And this is when your Draconic spirit reaches its peak. You gain the following aspects: Augment Breath. When you use your Breath of the Dragon, that's the level 3 feature, you can spend 1 key point to augment its shape and power. The exhalation of Draconic energy becomes either a 60-foot cone or a 90-foot line that is 5 feet wide. You get to choose. And each creature in that area takes damage equal to 4 rolls of your martial arts die on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. The other feature that we have here is Blind Sight. You gain a blind sight up to 10 feet out of you. Within that range, you can see anything that isn't behind total cover, even if you're blinded or in darkness. Moreover, you can see an invisible creature within that range unless the creature successfully hides from you. And then you have Explosive Fury. When you activate your aspect of the Wyrm, Draconic Fury explodes from you. Choose any number of creatures that you can see in your aura. Each of those creatures must succeed on a dexterity saving throw against your key save, or take 3d10 acid, cold, fire, lightning, or poison, as is the usual thing. I actually think if aspect of the Wyrm got nerfed, it's got a little buff. I think got a little buff.
I love like this visual in my head, because so it gives you the choice, right? 60-foot cone or 90-foot line. It's not dependent on the damage type, right? So that means you could do a 90-foot line of fire, or you could do a 60-foot cone of lightning, right? And the dragons themselves doesn't work that way, right? You're if it's lightning, it's going to be a line. If it's fire, it's going to be a cone. That's kind of sick. I just imagining a 60-foot cone of lightning It's like I'm just like it's like Palpatine, but like one very cool ability, but two that's pretty cool visually too.
And then the other difference that I see from the UA is explosive fury, which the range is reduced because originally aspect of the Wyrm was 30 feet. Now it's 10 feet. Also was 4d10 with no save. The damage is just automatic. And this is 3d10, which is even less. And then a deck save, but then 0 damage on a success. It's not half damage, which is a little just interesting. So that is without a doubt a pretty hefty nerf. And I also think it's your 17th. It's your capstone. I mean, I don't know. That one seems a little. Let
I
them
don't
eat.
like that.
For capstones, I just say let them eat cake. That's like,
Yeah. The only thing that doesn't do damage on a successful save would be like a cantrip, right? So why
yeah,
are you taking the capstone ability and dropping it down to that level for me?
yeah. They have to be looking at augment breath as the. This is why you're here.
I don't know. To me that's like certain ranger abilities where you get to choose between two and one of them is clearly or three and one of them is clearly the best option. You're only allowed to choose one. It's like, this one's good. Doesn't matter if the other two suck. I don't know. It's Wizards of the Coast. My opinion, lazy. You could do better.
So on that note, yes, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. We're going to also be doing a video on the Drake Warden, which you will see probably on the end screen. And we're going to be doing some Fizban's Treasury of Dragons reviews and thoughts, impressions, and all that kind of fun stuff. So again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you know when we release a video, and let us know what you think. Did the monk get nerfed here? Should it have gotten nerfed here? Are we weird looking? I mean, whatever it is, let us know because we'll fight you in the comment section. I mean, we'll say hi to you in the comment section.
Don't be too mean, or maybe we'll fizz ban you.
Oh, I like what you just did there. All right,
Maybe
we're
don't.
recording.
Maybe don't say specifically the lore. Nah, say whatever you want to say. Never mind. Done. I'm overthinking that. Say what you want to say. Sorry.
Say what you want to say. Say what you want to say.
Okay. All right.